So let's talk rebuild. So Jeff Molson says he's not afraid of the R word. He's not afraid to say rebuild, but it's going to ultimately be the VP and the GM's decision. So in your opinion, should Montreal restructure in a better position like they've been trying to do for the past few years, or should they go for the full-on rebuild?
I think, and this probably should have happened a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Just blow up the whole thing, to be honest with you. Get whatever you can for whoever you can. Understand that this year is an absolute tire fire. Maybe even next year is going to be a tough year, but you got to get it going in the right direction, and you get all the pieces you can. I would trade every single guy for as much as I could right now. Load up on draft picks, make a huge splash this summer, and completely rebuild. As painful as that is, I know there's a lot of guys on that team that fans are going to have some tears over. I see a jersey in over your left shoulder there. That
my whole slate of jersey. I'm going
is
to cry.
that a guy like that is everybody would want a guy like that for the playoffs. And he's been such a focal point of that team for so long. It's going to crush a lot of people. This rebuild, hasn't happened in Montreal for I don't even know when you would call a rebuild. There were some bad years there, but there was never a full-on blow-it-up rebuild sale that I think is happening right now.
Yeah. No, it's going to hurt. And do you believe Marc Bergevin left the team in a little bit of a pickle with all those big contracts that were signed? And they've got guys like Suzuki, Petrie, Gallagher. You've got some pretty huge contracts. So it has to have an impact on, like you said, if you do a fire sale, you trade everybody. Do you keep at least one of your veterans to build around, or do you clean slate literally everybody, like you said?
Yeah, I mean, I think Zooks is probably one of the very few that is kind of like an untradeable. I think the type of person he is, the type of leader he is, he's probably a guy, that we've talked about. That's a future captain that you can rebuild around. He's so young that he's got plenty of time to develop with your rebuild and still be your superstar. So he's probably a guy that's on a little different level for me. When you look at guys like Galley, Petrie, they're big contracts, but when you're in a tire fire, you can eat salary and move these guys and pick up picks. And I just know the type of players and people they are. There'll be a lot of teams that want to get those guys, especially in a playoff run. Even Carey Price becomes an option at this point. I'm
that was
sure
my next question.
Yeah, I think he becomes an option. I'm the biggest Carey Price supporter, and I love him, and I have no doubt he's going to come back and get to a top level. But the return you could get for that guy could be so good, and could really, really set your rebuild up.
We've talked about it on a few roundtables last week and the week before. So obviously, Carey Price comes back. He's not coming back in December, maybe in the new year. Obviously, this year's a write-off for him. Just let him play, let him get back his game. Next year, you'd assume that he tries his best, the team tries its best. Would Carey Price be the type of guy that would say, you know what, I'm going to stick with this team and try to pull it out, or trade me to a cup contending team? I'm about to finish my career and I need to win a cup. What type of guy would he be? Would he stick with a rebuild, or would he want to be traded?
That's a really good question.
Hypothetical, obviously.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think he would stick it out if you asked him to.
That type of leader.
He is that type of guy. He's been there for some really, really down years, and never once gave a sign that he was pulling the chute. So I could totally see him coming back and being a guy that says, "Hey, I'm signed for 7 more years. Like I'll stay here and I'll play it out as much as you want." I don't think it's going to get to that point, to be honest. I honestly see him being a guy that fetches a really, really big return somewhere, and someone still sees a lot of really good years left in him. I'm sure he'd love to go to Seattle. I know they got their
easier for the family.
I think he would be okay to go to a team like that. I could definitely see that. It's going to be so hard to tell.
It's going to hurt.
It's going to that another guy, kind of like Galley, where just a polarizing guy. People have grown up with him as your Montreal Canadiens goaltender, and that one would hurt too. But in order to get this franchise and the club back to where they need to be, you're going to have to make some really hard decisions on guys like that.